We've pretty much always been told that aging is this unstoppable, mandatory decline, right? But what if aging is actually becoming an optional condition? Welcome to the explainer that is literally going to shatter how we think about getting older. Based on some incredible recent biological breakthroughs, and we're talking Nobel Prize winning research here, scientists are predicting a massive paradigm shift in longevity within just the next 5 to 10 years. We're going to break down exactly how you can rewrite the rules of your own aging, starting from the inside out. Let's get into it. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. First, secrets of the supercentenarians. Second, activating your cellular recycling. Third, the danger of quick fixes. And finally, stopping cellular senescence. So, is aging an inescapable fate? For basically the entirety of human history, the answer to this question was a resounding yes. You grow old, your body declines, and, that's just the unstoppable reality of life. But cutting-edge life sciences in the 21st century are telling us a completely different story. Aging is no longer seen as this inescapable fate. It's actually a process that might be avoided, or at the very least, significantly delayed. Now, you might assume that living past 110 is entirely determined by the genetic lottery. But this brilliantly illustrates that when it comes to extreme longevity, genetics only account for 25% of the equation. Just 25%. That means a massive 75% comes down to your lifestyle and environment. Your daily habits hold the real power here. You are completely in the driver's seat. So let's look at the true longevity elite. Section 1. Secrets of the supercentenarians. We hear a lot about centenarians, people who live over 100. In Japan alone, there are over 90,000 centenarians today. But a supercentenarian is someone who lives past 110 years old. And the wall to reach 110 is incredibly high. Only about 1 in 500 centenarians actually makes it to supercentenarian status. Think about how exclusive that really is. But what's truly amazing isn't just the sheer number of years, it's their quality of life. Unlike many who reach 100, supercentenarians maintain a remarkably high level of independence. They have highly functioning cognitive abilities, they dress themselves, and they live their daily lives without needing constant care. They really are the super elites of health span. So what's stopping the rest of us? Well, the biggest villain blocking most people from reaching this supercentenarian status is chronic inflammation. Now, unlike acute inflammation, like the swelling and heat you get from a sudden cut, chronic inflammation is more like a slow, invisible fire. It quietly damages your cells and blood vessels over time. And when your cells get damaged, they release substances that damage the cells around them, setting off this devastating chain reaction of aging. Supercentenarians have incredibly low levels of this chronic inflammation, which is exactly why their hearts and kidneys stay so strong, even past 110. So how exactly do they keep their bodies so resilient? Well, prepare to celebrate, because contrary to what you might think, many supercentenarians actually love eating steak. Research shows that older adults who maintain high levels of a protein called albumin in their blood actually live longer. When albumin drops, you start to lose grip strength, you get tired easily, and honestly, you're one step away from needing constant nursing care. To keep those albumin levels up, you actually need to eat meat. This healthy, carnivorous appetite helps prevent frailty and muscle loss, keeping them completely independent. All right, let's move down to the microscopic level. Section 2, activating your cellular recycling. The undisputed hero of this microscopic world is autophagy. Literally translating to self-eating, autophagy is basically your body's cellular recycling center. Inside your 37 trillion cells, there's this constant cleanup crew working. It gathers up old, damaged proteins and cellular garbage, breaks them all down, and then uses those parts to build brand new, healthy cell components. It even repairs your lysosomes, which are essentially the stomachs of your cells that digest waste. If your lysosomes get holes in them, their acidic enzymes leak out and cause that terrible chronic inflammation we just talked about. Autophagy repairs those holes to keep you young. It's an absolute game changer. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that inside you right now, there's an intense biological conflict going on. On one side, you have autophagy, this cellular cleaner that literally clears out the toxic proteins that cause neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. On the other side, you have Rubicon. Rubicon is a protein that acts as the aging brake. It deliberately slows down autophagy. Now, you might be wondering, why do we even have it? Well, because if autophagy works too hard, it might actually start eating healthy tissue. The problem is, as we age, and especially if we eat high-fat diets like, say, lots of fried chicken, our Rubicon levels completely skyrocket. It stops the cleaner, the cellular garbage piles up, and aging rapidly accelerates. So how do we fix this? To naturally suppress Rubicon and boost autophagy, science points us to a few really highly actionable habits. It starts with your diet, incorporating traditional Japanese fermented awaban tea and spermidine-rich foods like natto, miso, and mushrooms. You want to combine that with aerobic exercise like running, mild cold exposure like a quick cold plunge, and getting your 7 to 8 hours of sleep. But a quick caution here. While mild fasting and running work absolute wonders, extreme fasting and super heavy weightlifting can actually backfire and suppress this whole cellular recycling process.
That brings us to the hidden traps of the modern beauty industry. Section 3. The danger of quick fixes.
Right now, exosome therapy is a massive trend in the beauty and anti-aging industry. You can think of exosomes as microscopic delivery drivers that carry messages between your cells. We used to think all exosomes from healthy cells were good, but recent research reveals a pretty terrifying truth. There are good exosomes and bad exosomes. Good ones deliver a keep-going, healing message, but our old enemy, Rubicon, actually forces cells to produce bad exosomes, which deliver a give up, we're tired message that actively spreads aging and inflammation to your other cells. And here's the absolute kicker. Science currently has literally no way to separate the good exosomes from the bad ones. So blindly injecting them at some trendy beauty clinic is a massive gamble that could actually violently accelerate your aging. And honestly, speaking of injections, we have to talk about Botox. When you look at the raw data, it is absolutely shocking. Botulinum toxin is literally the strongest natural toxin on Earth. Just 1 gram could kill 1 million people. 1 gram! It's roughly half as toxic as sarin gas. Yet, to stop a few wrinkles, people are paying top dollar to have this lethal compound injected right into their faces just to paralyze the nerves that move their muscles. If the dosage is even slightly off or the placement is wrong, it leaves the patient with a frozen, expressionless mask. It is an incredible risk for such a temporary cosmetic fix. And hyaluronic acid injections are just as alarming. Normally, hyaluronic acid acts like a sponge in our skin, holding moisture. As we age, it decreases, causing sagging. So clinics inject it to puff the skin back up. But if a doctor accidentally injects this thick gel into a blood vessel instead of the skin tissue, it blocks the blood flow instantly. This causes tissue necrosis, meaning the skin tissue literally dies. There are reports every single year of patients going completely blind because the gel traveled right into the blood vessels of their eyes. With a rising number of untrained doctors entering the super lucrative cosmetic field straight out of medical school without proper anatomical training, the danger of permanent disfigurement is higher than it's ever been. Let's shift gears to our final section. Section 4, Stopping Cellular Senescence. Let's walk through the life cycle of a cell really quick. When we're growing, our cells are actively dividing. Once we hit adulthood, most of our cells enter a reversible arrest. Basically, they stop dividing, but they wait on standby. If you get a cut, your skin cells wake up, divide to heal the wound, and then go right back to standby. That's totally healthy. But eventually, a cell hits its division limit. When that happens, it enters cellular senescence. It permanently loses the ability to divide and essentially becomes a zombie cell. These zombie cells just sit in your body, secreting toxins and causing your whole body to age. While it would be amazing to just sweep them all out, current technology can't safely remove them yet. When they tried it in mice, the mice suffered severe liver damage. So, since we can't safely remove these zombie cells yet, the only real solution is to prevent your cells from becoming senescent in the first place. And one of the absolute biggest drivers of cellular aging is UV radiation. Now, if you think you only need sunscreen at the beach, consider the number 80. Skin-damaging UVB rays actually reach 80% of their peak summer strength as early as May. Preventing cellular aging requires strict, year-round UV protection, even if you're just going outside for a short walk. So let's consolidate this into the unglamorous but scientifically bulletproof daily habits that actually protect your cells from the inside out. First, use a good SPF or PA sunblock all year round. Eat and drink in moderation to keep those Rubicon levels low. Never smoke. And honestly, most importantly, test what routines actually work for your specific body. Don't just blindly follow trends. Do the work to verify how your unique biology responds to different healthy habits. This is exactly how you avoid the need for toxic external injections altogether. We've covered a tremendous amount of ground today, from the incredible power of autophagy to the severe dangers hidden in those cosmetic quick fixes. The science is incredibly clear here. Rewriting the rules of aging doesn't happen with a syringe. It happens at the cellular level, and it's driven entirely by your daily choices. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Since 75% of your longevity is entirely up to you, which one of these scientifically proven inside-out habits will you start integrating into your routine today to change your cellular destiny? Choose just one and start right now. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.